Okay, today we are doing order of operations. In math, there is a specific order you have to do all your operations in. This is the acronym that we use to help us remember the order, what to do everything in. And normally you're going to hear me always call it Pemdas, P-E-M-D-A-S. In some books you might hear them say, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." I usually don't say many of those terminologies. I'll just say Pemdas. But here's what Pemdas stands for. You do parentheses and exponents first. You do it in the order that you see this listed. Parentheses, exponents are first, parentheses and exponents first, then you multiply and divide, then you add and subtract. Okay, I always like to show it like this as well, that you have these different levels. Parentheses and exponents, you do those first, and sometimes you just have to look at the problem on which to do first. Sometimes you do parentheses first, sometimes you do exponents first. Then after you've done all the parentheses and exponents, then you multiply and divide. Now multiplication is not more important than division, okay? So don't always do multiplication first. The order that you do multiplication and division is left to right. So if you have multiplication and division in the same problem, you do them left to right, which is the way that we read. We read from going left to right. Same with addition and subtraction. Addition is not more important than subtraction. They're on the same level. So if you have add and subtract in the same problem, you also do those left to right. One's not more important than the other. You do it the way that we read. All right, looking at 14C number 2, you have this problem here. So, what does Pemdas say to do first? Parentheses and exponents. We don't have any parentheses and exponents in this problem, so we've done that. Next step, multiply and divide. How do we multiply and divide? Left to right. So, we do the one that we come to first, which is this. So, we do that first, then we do that second. So, you do multiplication and division in the order that you see them in. I will be using my calculator on these. So the first thing we do is 18 times 5. So we didn't do anything to the 14. 18 times 5, 90. Okay, now we're doing our, you can see this as a negative 100 divided by 5. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. And 100 divided by 5, 20. Okay, so now then we only have addition and subtraction left. Pemdas says do them from left to right the way that we read. So we do our 14 plus 90 first. That would be 104 minus 20. So I recommend doing these one step at a time. If you write each step and do each step, you're less likely to make mistakes. So then 104 minus 20, 84. And I write one step and the next step, and I just keep going until I get the answer. Okay, now let's look at 14B number 3. Okay, Pemdas says do parentheses and exponents first. I don't have any parentheses, I don't have any exponents, so now I'm ready to go to the next thing, which is multiplication and division. Pemdas says if you have multiply and divide, which I have both of these, you do them from left to right. So I need to do my division first. So, and if you just want to do them one step at a time, like what I'm about to do, 69 divided by 3, that would be 23. 3 goes into 6 2 times, 3 goes into 9 3 times, and then rewrite the rest of the problem, plus 5 times 8 minus 6. You can do stuff just one step at a time if you want. So Pemdas says multiplication and division. I still have my multiplication. So I have to do multiplication and division before I add and subtract. Okay, so 23 plus 5 times 8, 40 minus 6. Now I only have addition and subtraction left. Pemdas says do it from left to right, the way that we read. So you do this first, 23 plus 40, 63 minus 6. 63 minus 6 should be 57. There's nothing wrong with coming off to the side, going through and doing all your borrowing. Okay, let's look at 14C number 10. Okay, Still doing PEMDAS. PEMDAS says we do parentheses and exponents first. So when you have parentheses, you need to do parentheses first. So we need to do everything in our parentheses first, then we'll do this exponent here after we get an answer in here. Here, there's only one number with an exponent, so we can go ahead and do it at the same time as doing these parentheses. So look inside your parentheses. You still have to follow the rules of PEMDAS inside the parentheses. We only have division and multiplication. PEMDAS says when you have multiplication division, you do those from left to right. One is not more important than the other. So we do this first. We come to this first because we read going this way, left to right. So 64 divided by 16, that is 4 times 3. I'm just going to do this one step at a time, cubed. So I didn't do the times 3 yet, so I'm rewriting it. Minus 20, and then I can go ahead and do my 4 cubed. Remember, that means 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. I have some of these memorized. Okay, so now we're still doing parentheses. Keep doing parentheses until you don't have parentheses anymore, because PEMDAS says do parentheses and exponents first. 4 times 3, 12, and then we still need to cube it. I haven't done that. I'm not going to do anything else yet until I get rid of parentheses and exponents, because PEMDAS says do all parentheses and exponents first. Now, 12 cubed. I'm using my calculator. So 12 times 12 is 144 times 12, 1,728 minus 20 times 64. Alright, so we got rid of parentheses and exponents. PEMDAS says to do that first. Next is multiplication and divide. So we have to do multiplication before we add or subtract. You need to view this as a negative 20. The sign in front of the number goes with the number. A negative times a positive is a negative. So I'm not doing the 1,728 yet, but negative times a positive will be a negative number. And then 20 times 64, 1,280. Now you can subtract these two numbers, and it will be a positive because this one's bigger than that one. So that comes out to 448. Alright, let's do 14C number 11. Alright, PEMDAS says do parentheses and exponents first. So I always go to my parentheses. So I do what's in here first, then I'll do the exponent. Here, there's no parentheses, it's just a number with an exponent, so I can do it at the same time. Here, I have exponents, so I can go ahead and do that. 12 squared, 12 times 12, 144. Minus 5 squared, that negative stays in front. 5 squared, 5 times 5, 25. There's that division sign. Go ahead and do this. 2 plus 3, 5, and then I still have that squared there. I haven't done that yet. And then I can go ahead and do that. Plus 7 squared, 7 times 7, 49. So some of this you can do at the same time. Keep doing parentheses and exponents until you don't have any parentheses or exponents. So I still need to do this one. So I'll just rewrite everything else because I'm not doing anything to those numbers. All I'm going to do is my 5 squared. Divided by 5 squared, 5 times 5, 25. Okay, we've done all of our parentheses and exponents. After parentheses and exponents is multiply and divide. You multiply and divide before you add or subtract. So we need to do our division. So, haven't done anything to my 144. You can view this as a negative 25 divided by 25. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. 25 divided by 25, 1. Okay, PEMDAS then, that you then add and subtract. One's not more important than the other. You do them from left to right, the way that you come to them, the way that we read. So we do them from left to right, meaning we do these first. So you do it in the order that you read. 144 minus 1 is 143 plus 49. Let's see, 9 and 3, 12, 9, I think I am missing a number. Maybe not. I'm checking on my calculator. Oh yeah, that's right.